Okay, let's go.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to ESC Unfiltered. And today, Carlos, what you got for us, bro?
All right. I want to go ahead and react to the August D Daechwita. We just reacted to his actual MV, so we're going to just go ahead and jump into the explained video for it because I'm pretty sure the AI was a little misleading and probably didn't give us full context of what the song was about. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and jump right into that afterwards. Um, I just know it was a little bit longer video, so I didn't want to attach it to the other video. So that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to watch August D's Daechwita explained so we get a little bit more context of what the song was about. All right, so that's it. All right, so here we go. I'm pretty sure it's in English.
Suga has delivered another hard-hitting mixtape titled D2. The first Agust D album, released in 2016, focused on the tough time Suga faced when he was a teenager. Suga's at a very different place now. He's much older and he's much more successful. And this album focuses on the changes of his feelings after becoming one of music's biggest superstars. It's a very honest album, and my personal favorite off of this is the title track, Daechwita. It's an ultimate flex track slash warning slash reminder with tons of historical references, so let's take a look into it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Daechwita is Korean traditional marching music that was played when kings or royalty were moving about or important guests would visit, as well as when army would be marching. There are two main characters in this music video, a King Suga and a bottom class Suga. We can see that the King Suga is a tyrant. He has everyone kneeling down with the faces down in the ground. And he beheads people who have complaints in this scene. You can see the Shinmungo here. People in the Joseon dynasty would hit this drum if they had something that they've been wronged. They'd hit this drum and the king or someone up in the hierarchy would come and sort out their problems. Except here, King Suga is killing the people who have such complaints and issues.
All right, so right away, I didn't even notice that in the video.
You gotta say, you gotta be like, down with the culture to understand,
Yeah,
like,
so this one's a
a
very
whole
culture
reference
heavy.
bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but I didn't even notice that he was pulling ahead. Maybe because I was looking at the
I didn't even notice
lyrics.
that neither. I didn't.
But which now makes more sense when he said that Daechwita means like marching or something. So like play it loud, Daechwita, Daechwita. That means I'm coming. That's basically what he's trying. To me, that's what so far. I mean, that's what I got from that.
But the bottom class Suga, with the help of BTS and army represented by the 6 other men and a woman in the scene, starts a coup. He drives up a car with the men representing BTS and also a cute painting of Bang PD. By the way, this painting has its origins in a Jungkook drawing of Bang PD. It's pretty funny. The King Suga sees this and gives a thumbs down and captures the bottom class Suga. The King Suga wants to kill him and does this graceful sword dance, which apparently Suga learned in 2 days. Meanwhile, bottom class Suga, blindfolded and tied down, starts headbanging, singing Daechwita. Remember how I told you that Daechwita was played when kings were about, or when the army would be marching? The bottom class Suga singing this is an announcement that he is actually the real king. He feels like he's the king. The people under the king, the very ones that were kneeling to him in the beginning, are now joining Suga, headbanging with him. This Daechwita is also for them. These kneeling people are armies marching together with the bottom class Suga. At the end, the executioner who was supposed to take down the bottom class Suga actually frees him and gives him a gun. Bottom class Suga grabs this and shoots the king. I think the MV and the song is a metaphor for BTS and ARMY taking down the existing system and the ruling forces of the industry. The King
I
Suga
said that.
represents the system,
Yeah,
the
you did
existing
say that.
system, the few powerful companies that had control over the industry before BTS came to the scene. Bottom class Suga is Suga himself in a small company with basically nothing, as if he was born into a bottom class, and winning the people over, eventually taking down the king with BTS and armies. I think Suga picked the perfect motif to convey his message. And if you look at the historical references, you'll be more amazed at how clever this all is. Well, this single verse has a lot to unpack, but let's just start with this line. The Joseon dynasty, which is most likely where this song is set in, had a strict class system where there was a heavy discrimination based on which class you were born into. Slaves were not even considered human. They would be traded in cases their owners didn't have enough money, and they were thought of more as just things. Think about the mistreatment that BTS received earlier on in their careers. They faced heavy discrimination due to them being from a small company, and they were mistreated. So it's easy to understand why Suga called himself a slave here. Slaves in Joseon were almost completely blocked off from advancing to higher classes, so for a slave to become a king is basically impossible. But Suga's saying he made it happen. The following line is a reference to Kwang Hae-gun, the king.
So I like that. I mean, well, I mean, that's again, this is political, but I mean, again, it's like our society as well. They make the, you see the top of the pyramid, which 1% for us. Everybody else believe us. Like the rest of us underneath, and it makes it almost impossible for us to get up there. Basically, Suga saying that he was managing.
King of Joseon dynasty in the 17th century. He developed paranoia while in power and notoriously became violent and reckless. Hence the line, Berserk Tiger, Kwang Hae flow. But I think there are more reasons Suga referenced Kwang Hae in the lyrics, especially if you consider what his life was like. Kwang Hae-gun had a very roller coaster of a life. Originally, he was a war hero, defending Joseon against the Japanese invasion of 1592, one of the biggest wars in Korean history. His father, who was then king, had fled when the war broke out, and the 18-year-old Prince Kwang Hae led Joseon troops in the battlefield. Rarely at this time did kings or to-be kings go out into the battlefield themselves. So Kwang Hae, fighting with the people, won their hearts over, and there were movements to throne him as the king instead of his father. The father felt threatened by this, so he made a lot of political efforts to stop Kwang Hae from gaining influence. Eventually, Kwang Hae became stuck between two large political powers, and this struggle eventually made Kwang Hae go paranoid and become violent and reckless. Ultimately, he was dethroned after a coup. I think Suga somewhat relates to Kwang Hae as he himself had been through a tough adolescence, having to go out into the battlefield at an early age, just like Kwang Hae did. He was an idol with no money, from a small company stuck in an industry dominated by big corporations. When Suga started winning battles and gaining power, he must felt a lot of efforts from the existing big powers to keep him away from the throne, like what Kwang Hae experienced from his father when the people wanted him to become the king. Suga mentions putting his past in the rice chest. For many Koreans, the word Tuju, or rice chest, is strongly connected to the tragic story of Sadoseja, which involves him dying in a rice chest. Sadoseja was the son of then King Yeongjo, and his father was extremely harsh on him, humiliating him and scolding him in front of others at a very early age. This became so severe that Sadoseja attempted to commit suicide a few times, but even then, he was treated terribly. He developed what modern doctors diagnose as bipolar disorder and began acting very violently. Eventually, the king ended up hating Sadoseja so much that he orders Sadoseja to go into a rice chest. Sadoseja went in, and he was stuck inside for 8 days and eventually starved to death. Sadoseja had a troubled life, filled with being humiliated and mistreated, and mental health issues just not being understood. Suga has been pretty open about his mental health issues he had when he was growing up, and I think he relates to 사도세자. He sees himself in him. He says he's putting his past in the rice chest. It's a declaration that he's putting the old troubled Yoongi, the 사도세자 Yoongi, behind and looking at what's ahead of him. In the second verse, Suga focuses more on how he's now on the throne and he's better than everybody else. Suga directly name drops Bang PD and also takes a shot at other artists who do drugs thinking that they write better music while they're high. I won't name any names here, but I'm sure you can think of an artist or a few artists for that matter that will be at the butt end of this. Some in bigger companies, in fact.
Ooh, boy!
The diss aside, this line is also a glimpse into Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical
So just quickly, Bang PD is the guy that put BTS together. That's who he's referencing.
Mm.
Every time they
Yeah,
mention
I
Bang
was,
PD.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was getting right to it because he showed the picture of him.
Yeah, so
So I figured that.
end of this. Some in bigger companies, in fact.
But he's the one who started it all.
The diss
Nothing.
aside, this line is also a glimpse into Bang PD's relationship with BTS. In a typical company, it'd be extremely difficult to even mention the name of your boss this openly without putting the honorifics Nim, especially considering how much a veteran and how much older Bang PD is compared to BTS. However, Suga name drops Bang PD as if he was his friend. We can sense that there is a very close bond and assume that Bang PD is very democratic with BTS. The fact that Suga is talking of Bang PD so casually is a flex of its own to others, as it's a sign that BTS has become so big and valuable to the company that he's at level with Bang PD. Now this is an interesting bit. Here Suga uses the Korean word Hyunta. Hyunta is an interesting Korean slang that is used all around the internet. Directly translated as wise man's time, it is a word to describe the feeling you get right after you've ejaculated, yes, ejaculated, and you feel no more sexual urges and you have a moment of clarity in your brain. You feel still, present, and sometimes disappointed that the short moment of satisfaction was all you got and you worked so hard for it. This slang originated from Japan, but it has become a staple in Korean everyday language, and it is widely used in everyday life outside of sexual situations. Usually in situations when you finally got what you dearly wanted and you wonder, that was it? Suga's saying he's feeling extreme hyunta because he has it all. He has money, he has clothes, he has everything he ever wanted, and there's nothing, no one above him. While this could be considered a small cry for help, I think within the context of this song, it's more of a hard flex. He's saying, others can only dream of what I have, but now I got everything and I feel bored and disappointed. But you won't know how I feel because you never had any of this. BTS has been on the top for the past few years, absolutely dominating, with a level of popularity that has never been seen in K-pop before. They're so dominant that it's sometimes easy to forget that they too had humble beginnings. In fact, more humble than most top artists out now today. They had to fight their way through discrimination, mistreatment, and humiliation. Daechwita is a reminder that this was where they started, and they took that system down. And it's also a warning that they had the resilience and the force to go through all of this, to go from slave to king. If you want us to make more videos like this, supporting us on patreon.com/DKDKTV helps us a lot. These explain videos get copyright claimed, thus we make no money off of them, 0 cents. So please consider supporting us on patreon.com/DKDKTV. For just a cup of coffee a month, you can get exclusive content and also help us continue our careers. And until next time, bye-bye.
So that was it.
Uh,
Very, very informative.
yeah. The way, like I say, like to understand that you have to know
That well, yeah,
the culture,
which is
the past. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be a part of their world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, right, and
but you
which is
know,
really
but I could understand it. You know what I'm saying? I can understand where you're coming from. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Starting from the bottom, now we here. Basically, this is it
yeah, and just like so,
started from
yeah,
the bottom, now we here.
yeah, and then I guess with all the cultural references are like all the stuff they've gone through for the most part. So basically, they had to go through all this stuff to get to where he's at now. Like, I guess the first part he was struggling. The second part he's telling you, "All right, now we're here. I'm here. Now I'm bored. I'm not, and what? I was like, I guess you guys would." Yeah, I mean, just like all that stuff is like pretty interesting because they're using their culture as a well, he used it, I should say. I guess BTS does that in a whole as well when they do that stuff. But I think out of all of August D's videos, this one was the most focused heavy on um at least the ones I've seen on the Korean culture completely, like in the whole entire video. It was greatly shot. I mean, I love the way the video shot. It was like watching a movie almost. Like you said, I think you said in the last
Mhm.
on the actual video, it's like a kung fu movie almost. But
Yeah, that's what he came up looking when he came up with the long hair and the samurai sword.
I was like,
You know,
yeah,
so
like he came to like I'm not coming to fuck around basically. But all right, again, yeah. So to go back and like Daechwita means marching. Like to me, it's like armies coming. Like he said, an army could be the fans. It could be the actual army. But basically, he's saying play it loud, Daechwita. Basically, play that shit loud and let everybody know we're coming. But
well
yeah.
put.
All right, man. So yes, that was August D's explained video. So yeah, I felt like that one warranted a an explanation video, just because of all the hidden meanings behind everything and a lot of the references she was making in Korean that we obviously couldn't, obviously would never know. But anyway,
Nope,
on
you will
to
never
the
know.
next one. So the next August D's so the next August D's video, we're out of here.
Peace.
Okay, let's go.